the issue of exceptional circumstances. What is your understanding of exceptional circumstances? And do you think the bill actually reflects that?
First and foremost, the fundamentals. There should be no circumstances, even if exceptional, that brings civilians into military tribunals. It is wrong in international human rights law, and it's wrong in our constitutional setup, and it doesn't even make logic. It even defeats common sense. The exceptional circumstances, as they are adumbrated in the Satanic bill that was passed by the Judas Iscariot parliament yesterday, are so sweeping, so broad, that they can encompass and envelope whomsoever the military dictatorship led by Museveni wants to punish, especially his political rivals, his critics, dissidents, writers, cartoonists, and so on. Anyone is a candidate for these courts martial.
Military dictatorship is a big word.
I repeat,
Kiiza.
President Museveni is a military dictator
is an elected
who steals
leader.
elections every election year and has never participated in a level electoral contest since he began this experiment. He came by the bar of the gun. He has maintained his presidency by the bar of the gun, and he has challenged that. Publicly has said that whoever wants to remove him, he cannot be removed by the pen or by the ballot, and unless you want to be his spokesperson, those are his words.
I don't want to be his spokesperson, but on record we know annually, every 5 years,
he steals elections.
We conduct elections.
He steals elections,
and
that is on the record of the Supreme Court for more than 3 occasions, where they have said that there are massive rigging irregularities, but falling short of annulling elections. But I think we need to go back to the court martial. My friend talked about
exceptional circumstances.
Not only exceptional circumstances, he said that he is fine if they can get justice, and I want to disabuse anyone of the notion that there can be justice in a court martial, in a military court. Forget about it. Even if you appoint the Pope in a military tribunal, you will not get justice there, because the Pope in a military tribunal, these kangaroo military tribunals, like the one that sent me to Chitaria, are headed by people who have no independent thinking of their own, but are merely parroting the wishes of the commander-in-chief of the military high command.
All right, let's look at some of the amendments that were made that some people have
aiding and abetting. For example, a civilian who aids and abets a soldier is a candidate for court-martial. That means that if I am having tea at the end of these cafes with a soldier, and the soldier is suspected, I could be drawn on a charge and say that Eron was talking this one who was found with a gun, who was plotting to overthrow government. So it doesn't matter then the magnitude of a crime. The civilian courts can handle this. A good example is that civilian courts, even in Uganda, are handling Koyero, are handling Jamil Mukuru. You won't tell me that there is a crime bigger than treason, than terrorism, than something more heinous than cutting lips. So it is all pretentious. What you're seeing as a bill that the Judas Iscariot Parliament passed yesterday, it is a betrayal of the trust that is in that institution. It is a gross abuse of the power of Parliament to drag through law civilians into a kangaroo military tribunal at the whim, at the beck and call of whoever is CDF, of whoever is commander-in-chief.
All right, staying with you a little bit before I go to Mr. Tumanya, there are some amendments which were carried out, which some people have described as safeguards. For instance, one, the UPDF has to mark all its items, including clothes, so that it is different from what the civilians
Waste
use.
of time.
That's one. Two, the chairman of the military court martial is now going to be at the rank of a high court judge, a trained lawyer.
Waste of time.
Three, one convicted in the military court martial can appeal to a higher civilian court. Those are looked at as civilian.
They are looked at. Let's start with the last, an appeal. Do people know what it means to go undergo a trial in an unfair system? Or some of these people have never gone to court. Some people can't even step in court, even if you call them either to be your sureties or witnesses. People should not be lightly subjected to a court process. And if people are going to be subjected to any court process, it must be of the highest standards of fairness. The fact that there might be an appeal at some level does not show the unfairness I'm going to suffer for a year, for 2, and I've told you already they are lengthy remand, sometimes 10 years. That can be a lifetime. So it doesn't give me solace that there will be appeal at some point, because the underlying trial will be riddled with the unimaginable injustice, and I've already clarified to those who are listening that it is incapable of delivering justice, the military court system. There is no justice you are going to get from any military tribunal. So if you are looking for justice, do not go to a military tribunal. Do whatever you can, whatever thing you can do it, and make sure you don't step in a military court tribunal. Once you're there, even if you have the best lawyers, unless you have a phone call, you're on talking terms with a CDF or CIC, in which case you want to go there anyway, because this court is not meant to fight crime. This court is meant to fight politics.
All right, let's